Good morning, Dick Rochfort here, aboard 2924 Romeo in the M600 fleet. It has the distinctive M600 wing and the not so common yet emergency auto land button. There's a lot of technology that goes in to making that button possible, and the most salient and the most recent of that is Piper's auto throttle. So this is the new and improved power quadrant on the M600, and from left to right you see we have the more manual override lever, which aside from color and a slight design change in shape operates the same way. You may remember that the power lever in this aircraft is pneumatically controlled, and the motive force for that pneumatic control is PY air. And now that's a pick-off from the compressor on the engine. Since it's pneumatic and since there's a possibility of a leak, not very large possibility, we get a mechanical linkage to the FCU fuel control unit, and that's an emergency or abnormal to operate that. But in your training you should ask your trainer to allow you to operate that on the ground at the very least. Next comes the power lever, and the big design change here is the shape of the sensitivity. It's much more linear now, and in addition to the toga button, take off, go around, we also have an auto throttle disconnect button underneath here. And of course the purpose of that is to allow you to disconnect the auto throttle if and when you need to. And so, for example, on takeoff, your hand stays on the power lever until you get to the rotate, and then move your hand to the yoke. If in the process you need to abort, press the disconnect button, go to beta, and then reverse if needed, and use brakes and back pressure as well to stop the aircraft. Lastly, we have the condition lever. The condition lever, of course, is the same as it is on the former models, with one addition. It has cutoff feather position, it has run position, and it has a cold start position. And the movement from run to cold start is spring loaded. The idea there is if you encounter a day of 0C or lower, when you get to the run position, you will continue to push until the engine fully starts. At 56%, the start engage annunciator goes out, and of course then you can relax and let the lever go to the run position. It would drop down into the D10 at that point, and from there ops are normal. The autopilot panel is varied, or is different slightly. Note we have this section in here that wasn't there before, and used to have a button here called speed, which on the early models was in-op. Now we have speed here, and this is the throttle control, auto throttle control here. We have two positions, FMS and manual. Suffice it to say, in an aircraft of this design, that is single engine turboprop, you'll likely be using the manual most of the time. You also have an AT engage button. More about that later. Here we are, beautiful downtown Oshkosh, overnighting last night at the Hilton Garden Inn on the field. Dick Rochfort, fly safely, train often.